Hey, this is Dave Allred, and I've got another product review here. Today we're going to be looking at the Weed Zinger, which I was pretty excited to test out. I actually spent a lot of time in my front yard pulling weeds. My nemesis in weeds is called the khaki weed, and it's that little weed that gets into your lawns that it's got a shiny leaf on it, but it's got those little round sticker balls that if you're walking through your yard with socks and you walk through a patch of that, it's just you might as well just throw your socks away. Those things are ridiculous. But anyway, so what what happens with those is the root gets so stinking deep that you've got to really get down in there. And I actually get a shovel and I dig up I dig up underneath it, pull it up, loosen up the dirt, and just pull it out because the taproot's so stinking long on those. But anyways, I'm excited to test out this Weed Zinger. Says it's very effective for dandelions and whatnot. It says also if your yard is out of control with weeds, you might obviously try some chemical treatments before you get real serious with the Weed Zinger. But if you want to do some spot weeding and you hate leaning over and pulling weeds with your hands, this would be a great alternative to doing that. And from what I've seen here, you get to shoot it too, so it's almost like having a gun at the same time, which I'm all about, right? Anyway, so uh, here's a good look at the product. At the Weed Zinger, it's got some spikes down at the bottom that stick down in the ground. And what you do is you push down on this platform here. These spikes go down and around the weed, around the root. You give it a twist and you pull up, and then it's got a little release trigger up there that you hit, and it shoots the weed wherever you want it to go, whether it's in a trash can or just in a pile, whatever it is. Weed Zinger's actually got videos that shows some homemade targets that you can shoot them at. They get their kids out there in the yard, and then they do target practice, while weed pulling. So good fun for the whole family, right? Weed pulling is fun. It says on the package here, it says it shoots it up to 6 feet away. So it's got some good range there, right? Um, anyway, so that's the Weed Zinger. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the package, and I'm going to give it a test drive here for you to watch. So hang tight. Back. So here's the Weed Zinger unpackaged. So you can see it's got the spikes. This is the trigger. It's got a nice handle, and it's actually got some weight to it. I'd say it's at least close to 10 pounds, maybe. Probably 5 pounds. 5 to 10 pounds, somewhere in there. But anyway, so what happens is when you compress this bottom down here, you can kind of see the spikes go together, and so it tightens in on that taproot. And then it's got some little notches in here that this metal bracket, spring-loaded metal bracket, just kind of clicks into, and then you release it, and it's supposed to launch the weed. So let's see how that works. So I've got a couple of victims down here, a couple of dandelions. Let's use this one right here. So what I've done, I've actually tested this out. It worked fairly well. I'll test it out for you. So I'm going to try to find the center of the weed. Push down, little twist. You can kind of see it loosens the weed up. So, that part of its promise definitely works. It gets the taproot, especially if you have a moist ground. I actually turned the sprinklers on this morning so that I'd have some moist dirt to work with. If it was harder dirt, I imagine that root would probably just snap off. So make sure your dirt's nice and moist before you get out here and do some spot weeding. And then so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to point to my target over here. Come over here, Tyler. Point to my target over there and see if I can hit my target. And that's actually the package. Let me show you. This was what it was in, like this. You can kind of see, as I showed you earlier. So when I opened it up, it's got a target in there. So if you have a trash can or something, and you get your kids out here to target practice, weed pull. So let's give it a shot. Let me pull the trigger. So not exactly a 6-foot range, but if I had a trash can right there, just shoot it in the trash can, and I don't have to, bend over and pick up anything. Obviously you've been watching me the whole time doing this. I haven't had to lean over at all, so my back's intact. I got a weed out of the ground. I've aerated it at the same time. Show that hole right down there. That's about the size of a hole it leaves, which, if you want to aerate your lawn, that's not a bad little hole. It's maybe a little big for aerating your lawn, but you aerate your lawn at the same time and promote its health. So let me get one more weed and see if we can get that 6-foot length real fast. All right, so here, let's do this one. No go. Try it again. All right, so there's the most of the weed. Ready? All right, I'd say 3 foot tops on that. So I'm not seeing the 6 foot. Maybe I got to get more dirt in there so I can have more mass. Maybe I'm just not shooting enough mass. But anyway, I like it. My daughter definitely approves of it too. She's been filming the whole time, and so I'm gonna get her butt out here to do some weed pulling with the Weed Zinger. Highly recommended. Yeah, right. Highly recommended. Great product. I'd definitely go and get you one. There's gonna be a link at the bottom of this video for you to pick one up. So anyway, I like it. All right, real quick, I wanted to show you just another short little video of how this thing does on crabgrass. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of a crabgrass problem in my yard. I've also got a gopher problem, which kind of ticks me off. Let me find a nice plot of crabgrass here and go over here to crabgrass heaven. All right, so here's a piece of crabgrass, a couple of pieces here. So as you can see here, sometimes the problem with crabgrass, it's got a billion little roots in it that if you don't get them all, or sometimes it's kind of hard to pull up with your hands. So without having to lean over at all, what I find best is you get the crabgrass, and as you spin it, which is what the Weed Zinger says to do, the whole plant comes up. You've got your little hole there. You've got all the roots of your crabgrass plant, and you take it over here to your pile and launch it away. So crabgrass, it works really well. If you've got a bigger crabgrass plant and you don't get the center, obviously it won't work so well. But as long as you find the center and you spin it, you get the roots and you spin it, it works real well on crabgrass too. So anyway, great product. Thanks, Weed Zinger.